Good evening, Husker Nation. I'm David Swotek reporting from our studio, and the Sports Ticker is brought to you by the experienced advisors at Stonebridge Wealth Systems. Earlier today, the Husker women's basketball team faced off against number 15 Iowa here in Lincoln. Britt Prince led the team points this morning with 13, but the Hawkeyes claimed a first quarter lead and didn't look back. Iowa went home with the W 80-67. Women's basketball plays next on Thursday, February 19th against Oregon in Eugene at 8 p.m., and coverage will be right here on the HRN. Next, Nebraska softball took the trip to Florida on Sunday to play their 10th game of the season against number 1 Texas Tech. The Red Raiders scored in the first and third innings, but the Huskers brought in 3 runs in the fourth, and that gave them the edge they needed. Nebraska took down number 1 Texas Tech 3-2. They play next on Friday, February 20th against South Carolina at 12 p.m. Coverage will once again be right here on the HRN. And finally, the Nebraska women's gymnastics team secured the win over Illinois on Sunday at the Bob Devaney Sports Center. The Huskers scored 195.75, clutching the victory by less than 2 points on senior night. NU will be on the road to College Park, Maryland on Friday, February 20th to take on number 24 Maryland. The meet is set to begin at 6 p.m. The Sports Ticker was brought to you by Stonebridge Wealth Systems, navigating you to and through the retirement of your dreams. Local advisors, a disciplined process, the retirement compass. Visit StoneBridgeIWM.com. Coming up next is the first hour of Sports Nightly, right here on the Huskers Radio Network.
Coming to you live from Memorial Stadium, it's Sports Nightly. All the Huskers, all the time. Sports Nightly is presented to you by the NDOT Highway Safety Office, who remind you to buckle up and put the phone down.
Bounding it is Frager. Hoiberg lets it roll, picks it up as it crosses the timeline. Need a 3 right now. Hoiberg mass shoots the 3, is on the money.
Got it! Smack, smack, down the hole! Right down the avenue. It's a 2-point game. 68-66.
Deep 3 right wing Logan Nisley. You betcha! A CDA 3 for Logan. She's got 12. It is 69-63 Minnesota.
First pitch to Dylan Carey is a high drive to deep left center field. Giving it a look is the left fielder. He leaps and it is gone. Over the glove of Goretti in the left field fence, and Dylan Carey has the first home run of the season for the Cornhuskers. A towering moonshot over the left center field wall, and Nebraska jumps in front 1-0.
From to the line. Her 2-2. Terry takes over the outside corner. Cold strike 3. Down goes Terry. Down goes Tech. And the Huskers have taken down the top-ranked team in the country for the second time in 2 weeks.
Now, here are your hosts, Jessica Coody and Kyle Crooks on the Huskers Radio Network.
Hey everybody, happy Monday to you and happy President's Day. If you had the day off, hope you enjoyed it. We've got a full 2 hours headed your way here on Sports Nightly. Lots to get into. It was a busy day here on the Huskers Radio Network. It was a busy weekend, so we got lots to dive into. But we're going to start with Husker baseball. Opening weekend, and Huskers going 3-1 over the last few days. Hopefully you spent a lot of time listening to Husker baseball right here on the Huskers Radio Network. And one Ben McLaughlin, who we welcome back in. We're going to go right back out to Scottsdale, who has stood by waiting for us over the last few minutes. So we appreciate you waiting on us, Ben. How was the weekend for you?
Yeah, weekend was great. It's felt like we've been out here for a month, but the first weekend's always fun. You're never sure exactly what you're going to see. You see some familiar faces, and you hope to see some development and some guys looking better than they did the year before. But the competition is always stiff, and when you roll it out here for the first weekend, never quite know what you're going to see. But it's always enjoyable to come back down here as a baseball lover and hear the ping of the bats. And obviously spring training home. There's always a buzz this time of year down in this part of the country with people excited for spring training. So I never complain opening the season down here in Arizona. It's always a treat.
You always go down to these venues to escape the cold of Lincoln and the Midwest. Well, you missed out on 66 degrees today here in Lincoln. I don't know what the temperatures were there in Scottsdale, Arizona. So it's not like if this felt like a spring training site today here in Lincoln, but all that being said, first handful of games this opening weekend, 4 games, right? Let's start with the offense. Just the way that consistent answers. I think when one team would score in a half frame, and then all of a sudden Nebraska would fight back. Even today, I mean, you go down, was it 9-0 to start the game, and you just chip away, fight back, make it 9-6. You're not able to get all the way back, but the resiliency of this lineup. It's pretty eye-opening. I know it's a small sample size, but that probably is, for me, one of the biggest takeaways to the first 4 games.
Yeah, close to 60 hits through 4 games, and they've done it in a variety of ways. I mean, the one thing that this team really needed more of last year was the slug, the more extra base hit. Saw a couple of home runs, and if you get it out in these parks, you got all of it. These are some big yards that we're playing in. Jeske had a couple of them. Of course, Dylan Carey had one. We've had a couple of shots off the wall. So, I think the slug was there. The depth of Nebraska's lineup, to me, was really impressive. 1 through 9. I think, getting through what you think is going to be the heart of Nebraska's order with Sandy, with Beek, with DC, and Butenbach. And then you get to the bottom third, and now all of a sudden you're looking at Kitchens and Jeske and Nunez, who was Nebraska's leading hitter last year. I think it really taxes arms. And you saw that again today. I mean, I know Nebraska didn't win, but they left 13 guys on base, over double-digit hits, and up and down the lineup, you had your 9-hole hitter go 4 for 4 and reach base 5 times. And I'm with you, Kyle. The response that Nebraska showed all weekend, that was the big thumbs up from us here in the opener against UConn, was Nebraska's ability to respond and do so in some crooked numbers. It really was impressive, and that's going to carry over. I mean, you're going to see some really good stuff on the mound over the course of the year, specifically the next couple of weekends, as the talent ratchets it up a few degrees. But overall, I was very, very impressed with this offense, and we thought this offense would take a pretty big step forward this year.
How about what Nebraska did on the mound here opening weekend? What'd you like about the arms and how the pitching staff did here to open things up?
Yeah, dealt kind of a blow today as Cooper Katsky just not quite healthy enough to pitch, so they had to go to Colin Novacek, and Colin had just a great offseason, and so I think everybody was a bit surprised that he got hit around as much as he did here today, allowing the 6-run first inning. But, I think overall Nebraska's depth on the mound showed. There's a lot of bright spots. Ty Horn was Ty Horn. He competed here on Friday. It was great to see Yasa in control, 7 straight strikeouts for him in his start. And I thought Gavin Blachowicz in the 4th inning of yesterday's game, that was, I think, his biggest test as a Husker. Bases loaded, nobody out, and allows just 1 run. That was super impressive. And then a lot of the guys that we expected to take jumps definitely did. Price Bender was outstanding today. You got to see yesterday a couple of arms, Chase Olson and Jay Sean Unger. Caleb Clark was nails. So I think, overall, I think you're pretty pleased. I think you're maybe not quite feeling quite as good about Kevin Monell with what he's done through 2 appearances, but overall, his stuff is there. It's just going to come down to the command. I think Rob Childress has to be pretty impressed with what he saw on the mound. Some different tests for this staff. You think about Northeastern's team stealing almost 200 bases last year. Obviously, this Stanford team that we saw today is a handful offensively, and they were tested. They were tested here today on the mound. But overall, I think you're probably feeling as good as you were coming into the season, leaving after 4 games. And, of course, we know they're going to be tested again next weekend down in Arlington.
Carson Yasa, let's dive into him a little bit. And you mentioned some of the young arms that were sensational over the weekend. But for him, it's just one of those things you want to see it in live game action. We heard a lot about, the command is much better. That slider is sort of his pitch that he's now working around, where most of his career was just a lot of fastball and not being able to command that high velocity. But you saw the nastiness, and then you saw the command, and then you saw exactly what, I guess, everything that we've been hearing leading up was on display with the 9 strikeouts, had 7 straight. When you watch Carson, was it somewhat of a sigh of relief, like, this is what we've been told? It looks like this is what we're going to get.
Yeah, with Yasa, it's interesting, right? I mean, I'm sure a lot of our audience hear us talk about his 97, 98 mile-an-hour fastball. They're like, well, why doesn't he just throw that, But you have to have secondary stuff at this level. And, you go back to those 7 straight punch-outs, it was the cutter and it was the slider that had Northeastern off kilter. That slider was really moving. It's turned into a weapon. And to see that kind of unfold between our eyes was something that I think gave us a lot of encouragement about Carson. And he was able to locate, and he was able to straighten some unevenness. Like Gavin, yesterday, he was able to pitch through some adversity and get some outs when he had guys on base. So with Yasa, if he can anchor down that Saturday role for Nebraska, it's really going to put them in a good position to win more series than not because, obviously we all know at this point in college baseball, your Friday guy is the guy that gives you the best chance to win. So we feel good about Ty on Fridays. You can back it up with Yasa, and if he's commanding his pitches like he did against Northeastern, I think it's going to be a successful year, and I know he has a lot of confidence after his start.
We're visiting with Ben McLaughlin, the voice of Husker baseball here. He's live out in Arizona as the Huskers wrapped up opening weekend. Okay, Ben, I know it's early and it's just weekend number one, but what would you say is the strength of this baseball team right now, and what do you think the strength of this baseball team will eventually be?
Well, I think the first thing is these guys love each other. They love being around each other. I've had multiple parents, this weekend talk to me about how cool it is to see just the bond that this team has. So that's going to help them in situations like today, right? Down 6-0 in the first and 9-0 after 3. It'd be easy just to mail it in and think about the flight home and the post-game meal and all that. But these guys compete for one another, and that's kind of the next part is I think they're starting to take on the life of their head coach with just the competitiveness, the fire that you see from these guys. I'll point to one example today, another true freshman, Drew Grigo from Bellevue West. His first action today, he sees a 1-0 slider down at his knees and he smacks a line drive into right field. I think things like that where you're just out to compete and you have to, playing more so for your team than you are the brand across from you in the other dugout, I think is huge. And I think ultimately when things aren't going well in this sport, because it's going to happen in a 50-plus game schedule where you're hitting the skids or you're maybe slumping or things like that where you're relying on your teammates to pick you up. And I think that's going to be a huge benefit to this team. And obviously they're talented, right? We've seen the additions. You know what you're going to get out of the usual suspects, but seeing Jeter Worthley up close, to see Cole Kitchens, to see Mac Moyer, right? Like, you see these pieces kind of manifest out in front of your eyes, and it gives you a lot of confidence moving forward. I know the coaches are probably pretty pleased with what they saw through 4 games.
Yeah, I wanted to go there with some of the newcomers, and I know you've said throughout the year, or leading up to the year, is the consistency of the core of guys that like the Dylan Careys, the Joshua Overbeeks, Case Sandersons. Those guys have to have good years if Nebraska wants to reach their potential. But you bring in new guys. How about Cole Kitchens and Jet Buck? Pretty much a really, really good debut, I would say, opening weekend here.
Yeah, really impressed with Jet's weekend. And I go to the second game. He started the game 0 for 3 with 3 strikeouts. It didn't look overly competitive. And then he just rips 2 singles into left field in his last 2 at-bats, and I think he had multiple hits again here today. So I think when you have guys, particularly at the top of that order, and we saw Jeter Worthley catch a great 3 games down here. Mike and Miller, I thought, handled himself very well behind the plate in the leadoff spot. And so those guys anchoring the top of the lineup, I think, it gives those guys that you mentioned a lot of confidence. Then you go to the bottom of the order, and you throw in a guy like Mac Moyer, who got his first start today, had 4 hits. Drew Grigo is going to be a part of things, I think, as the season moves forward. Cole Kitchens had the first big swing of the season with the bases loaded and 2 outs against UConn, slashed a 3-run double down the right field line. So I think when you have those pieces, and we had a chance to talk to a few of them this weekend, they feel like they belong. The confidence is high, and it's because of those guys that have been in the clubhouse for 3 to 4 years that are giving them that confidence. And I think that's what builds that depth in the bottom half of the order that I was telling you about earlier, is the belief in their teammates that they can do it and the belief themselves that they can do it. I was very impressed with what I saw from the new names in the lineup.
Ben, I know you guys got to get the rental car back to the airport before catching the flight home, but listen, wondering minds want to know, did you guys make it out to the course out there in Arizona?
We did. We got to play a little bit of golf out here. Mixed results, as always the case with Nick and I. Driver should have just stayed in Omaha. That thing was no good while we were here. But played with some great people out here. It's always fun. A lot of people that you end up playing with out here in golf aren't from here. They're all from all over the country. Coming down to get some warm weather in the early parts of the later parts of winter. So yeah, it was fun. The weather out here is perfect. With the night games, we were able to sneak out a couple of times, and overall, I don't think we broke any course records. I don't think any windows got broken. So pretty successful trip, I would say, on the greens.
I was joking with Kyle, traveling with you and Nick. He better get the clubs dusted back off and try to get swinging again.
Yeah, so Nick asked me, he goes, "Is Kyle golf?" I go, "That's kind of a loaded question. I feel like that's something that you're going to have to talk to Kyle about."
It's some bad memories my senior year of high school, man.
I was going to say, at one time it was a love-hate relationship. I think we're leaning more on the hate side.
I don't even have clubs anymore, Ben. Like, I have to buy clubs.
I guess you can borrow mine.
Yeah. Let me ruin friendships before you get off the air here. Who's the better travel partner, DB or Nick Hanley?
Nick is a lot lower maintenance, so he can handle himself. He gets to where he needs to go. He's capable of setting up radio equipment.
You don't need to turn on his iPods.
Nope, I'm not going to say
AirPods.
Better than the other. I'm just going to say it's a different experience for me. Traveling with baseball and traveling with football is a little bit different in terms of the responsibility workload. So I'm glad that Nick shares that, and he'll be able to guide you through next weekend, Kyle. I know you're probably really anxious to get in the booth and call some baseball next weekend in Arlington.
I'm excited. I'm really excited to be a part of this team this year. I know Globe Life is way up there, so I'm going to bring my binoculars next weekend.
Worse than Kansas, worse than Arrowhead?
I was going to say.
It might be the same, honestly. It's way up there.
You had Arrowhead to jump in for football, and you're going to have Globe Life. So, yeah, we're really testing that eyesight out.
Yeah, I know.
But it's a great facility, and the rumor has it if the weather's nice, they might pop the roof open for you guys next weekend. So that could be a little different.
Ben, is this the year that Nick's handicap gets to single digits?
No, it's not. And he didn't hear you ask that question, so that's a good thing. No, he and I usually trade swings on the golf course, but I got to admit, he did play much better day 2 than he did day 1. He had the resiliency that you're looking for.
Well, great stuff, and great stuff all weekend. It was great to hear you guys back on the call, and I guess you'll be off this weekend, but
we're back with. I'll be with Ben with Auburn the following weekend.
Yeah,
so work with Nick and then Ben. So get the whole thing, the whole spiel first couple times through. So,
awesome. Thanks, Ben. Thanks for sticking around.
Thanks, Ben.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Again, Ben McLaughlin joining us here live on Sports Nightly. We got to get to a break, but we've got lots more to come here. Coming up here over the next couple of hours. Woodhouse has been a trusted partner in your everyday since 1975. Shop for your next vehicle with the home team at Woodhouse and the official auto dealer of Nebraska Athletics.
Spotting the perfect fit is kind of your thing. So when it comes to finding a used car, start your search at FordBlueAdvantage.com and find the perfect certified pre-owned vehicle at your local Ford dealer. One that comes with serious perks, like a thorough inspection, a Ford-backed warranty, even a Carfax report. Because you know what they say, the best finds are the ones that feel made for you. Ford Blue Advantage. Used car buying that's built for you. Available at participating dealers only. See your dealer for details and limitations.
From the chant of Husker power to Allo Fiber powering your home and Husker Nation, Allo is the teammate you can trust. Whether you're streaming at home with Allo Internet, watching on the go with DirecTV through Allo, or checking stats and scores on Allo Mobile, Allo keeps you in the game. With Allo plus DirecTV plus Allo Mobile, you get the ultimate teamwork. Internet you can count on, TV you can stream anytime, anywhere, and nationwide coverage you can depend on. Bench the other guys and team up with the official Internet, TV, and mobile partner of the Huskers. Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Dear weekend, Toyota trucks are raring to go. Gearing up for fall, Tundra is all in for hauling. Campers, ATVs, you know Tundra's got the muscle to move it. Going off the beaten path? Tacoma says, let's do this. With handling that tackles tough trails and the backbone to take you where the pavement can't. Both trucks pack sweet tech, posh cabins, and Toyota's legendary reliability. So whether it's a fishing trip at dawn, tailgate at noon, or a remote sunset at, well, sunset, these trucks are built to make every weekend epic. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota. Let's go places.
See your Omaha Metro and Lincoln Toyota dealers, Baxter Toyota of La Vista, Baxter Toyota of Lincoln, Corwin Toyota of Bellevue, or Village Point Toyota of Omaha.
Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic for better health. Why chiropractic? Because it's safe, drug-free, and a cost-effective treatment option for back and joint pain. Plus, all generations can benefit from natural chiropractic care. Choose chiropractic first for pain relief or to improve your mobility, athletic performance, or overall wellness. Make chiropractic your first choice for better health and find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraskachiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
Spotting the perfect fit is kind of your thing. So when it comes to finding a used car, start your search at FordBlueAdvantage.com and find the perfect certified pre-owned vehicle at your local Ford dealer. One that comes with serious perks, like a thorough inspection, a Ford-backed warranty, even a Carfax report. Because you know what they say, the best finds are the ones that feel made for you. Ford Blue Advantage. Used car buying that's built for you. Available at participating dealers only. See your dealer for details and limitations.
From the chant of Husker power to Allo Fiber powering your home and Husker Nation, Allo is the teammate you can trust. Whether you're streaming at home with Allo Internet, watching on the go with DirecTV through Allo, or checking stats and scores on Allo Mobile, Allo keeps you in the game. Bench the other guys and team up with the official Internet, TV, and mobile partner of the Huskers. Go Gig Red. Visit allofiber.com/Husker Radio.
Get behind the wheel of America's favorite truck from Woodhouse Ford. Lease the Ford F-150 Super Crew for $389 a month for 36 months and 7,500 miles per year. First payment and $299 doc fee due at signing. Or save up to $15,000 off MSRP. Shop Woodhouse Ford online or in-store in Blair, Omaha, and Plattsmouth today. With approved credit, security deposit waived, tax, title, license extra. Vehicle is a retired courtesy loan. Offers expire March 31st, 2026. See dealer for details.
The Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center is sponsored by Akrs, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Akrs, solutions for every field. Welcome back to Sports Nightly with Kyle Crooks. I'm Jessica Coody. Appreciate Ben McLaughlin standing by. They actually waited to break down the set for him to be able to join us live here on Sports Nightly.
Yeah, we told him you can't leave yet. So he and these were some long games this weekend. So Jess, this one was 3:20. I want to say all four of them are over 3 hours.
Yeah.
Usually college baseball has gotten really good now, where with the invent of the pitch clock and other things, telling batters to get in the box, be addressed to the pitcher at a certain time on the clock. These games are going a little bit quicker, where you see 2.5, 2:45, sub 3 hours. So these games went on a little bit longer this weekend.
Okay, so 3-1 here to start for Husker baseball, and had a valiant try to come back today.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be a run roll. I was thought it was going to end early. And they made me eat my words there. But what did you take away? You feel pretty good about the start?
Yeah, and I think Ben sort of touched on it, and we mentioned it in our interview, the resilience of the lineup and all the guys that you need that, like I had mentioned to Ben, need to have good years. The Dylan Careys, the Joshua Overbeeks, the Case Sandersons have had a really good start, and I think there's high expectations there. But some of the new guys too. Cole Kitchens had a really good weekend. I think there's a lot of expectation for a Jet Buck, who they brought in to be the shortstop, and getting to start every day at second base, had a really good start to his Nebraska career. But also in the starting rotation, you got a great start, and the expectation you would get a great start from Ty Horn on opening night. Carson Yassa was every bit of what you expected to be, as he's going to now grow into the Saturday night guy. And Blackowitz had good moments as well, but also this was supposed to be the game, at least Sunday was supposed to be the game you were going to get a chance to see last year's MAC Pitcher of the Year. And Cooper Katsky, turns out he was under the weather, so doesn't get to pitch this weekend. Who knows how he falls in line next weekend. But again, some really good competition. I think the resiliency in lineup, as Ben put it, a lot more slug, a lot more pop in the lineup, at least through 4 games. Again, baseball, it's tough because you don't want to overreact. It's such a long season, and this is such a small sample size. And then some of the younger arms coming out of the bullpen who we saw today, I think was, considering how you had to fight back from a 9-0 deficit and keep it within striking distance, guys like Bender, Pankinen, Clark, Harrahill came in and really gave you some good innings. And then also I think the one concern you'd have through this small sample size is Kevin Monell, who's their closer they got from Mississippi State, made his second run today, and it just has not had a whole lot of command over his first 2 trips to the mound. So closer, of course, is a very important role for any baseball team. So that's a question, I think, moving into next weekend, where you're going to play 2 top 16 teams in the country. That's probably got to get answered.
Yeah, so a lot of positives to take away here from opening weekend, and we'll learn a lot more about this baseball team coming up this weekend as they take on Louisville, Kansas State, and Florida State down in Louisville. Huge weekend for Husker softball. Big day yesterday as they take down number 1 Texas Tech. back-to-back weekends. We talked about going into it that, they had the chance to play Texas. So back-to-back weekends, you're playing the number one team in the country, and back-to-back weekends, they take down the number one team. And that was a fun one, watching the matchup between the pitching staff and watching Alexis Jensen coming in, and then Jordy backing her up, closing the door, and of course, Niger Kennedy, and it just was a fun softball game to watch, and Nebraska looked the part.
Wasn't surprised they went with Alexis Jensen to start just because of how much they threw Jordy. Tennessee, as soon as she started UCF, right, that was probably gave you your answer as to who was going to start the next game. And that's the thing is everybody wanted, eventually you saw Jordy come into the game late and close the game and do exactly what she does, throw strikes, get outs. But I was incredibly impressed with the poise, and I think Rhonda said this in the postgame after Texas Tech. Alexis, she's getting better with every single start. She's already a confident player, but she's getting better and better. Her changeup is filthy. The way that she works off of Jordy, two different types of pitchers, and then, being as clutch gets against the best pitcher. Niger Kennedy, they had this stat on ESPN, had not given up an extra base hit in back-to-back at-bats in her entire career. And for this team to tie the game with a Hannah Cammonson double and then a home run from Jessie Farrell, the new catcher from UNLV, that was about as clutch gets, because it almost has a World Series feel, right? A crew on ESPN, big viewing audience, a little bit different because they moved it to ESPN Plus and wasn't on ESPN with weather, but the stage was set to be almost gave you as close to an OKC feel as you could get, and then to come through, and then Hannah Core, who really been struggling up until that point offensively, to come through with a massive single to break the 2-2 tie, and then Jordy does what she does, shutting down an all-star lineup. Let's be honest here. Texas Tech, one after another, it's, okay, which all-star did we pluck from each program?
Yeah,
every part of their lineup.
There's a lot of kind of drama surrounding their lineup and what led into them building that lineup, and maybe some of the tampering that took place. And I think there was a lot of people celebrating Nebraska beating Texas Tech yesterday. But yeah, you're right. For what they did last year, getting to the national title series, the national championship series, their weakness was hitting. They did not. They were not as good at hitting. And you have the best pitcher in the game, and Niger Kennedy, one of. I think her and Jordy right there. You have that argument. But they went out and got some of the best. And so they are definitely improved in that area. And you had Nebraska pitching staff did a heck of a job at keeping them at bay.
Yeah, so you're 6-4 now, and I tweeted this out.
And you heard about it.
I got some pushback, and rightfully so. I said Nebraska has the best resume through 2 weekends, and they certainly have one of the best, right? You've beaten two different number one teams. You've beaten Washington, who was ranked in the ESPN poll. You beat LSU. You've had essentially a World Series field of teams. And UCF, who's a team who's always receiving votes, they're just on the outside of a top 25 team. But you look at, and the people who gave me pushback were Tennessee fans. One, they beat Nebraska, but they've had wins against multiple top 10 teams and about 4 or so top 25 teams. So they certainly have the case to have the best strength of schedule. But I'll say this, nobody in the country, one, has played the number one team, two different number one teams in one season so far in this season. Nebraska's done that, and they've won at least one. So, or I should say two, and you beat Texas and you beat Texas Tech. Not many people, anybody could say that.
Now, and listen, a lot of that goes because a lot of the SEC teams did not want to play Texas Tech because of some of the things that went on. And so if you look at Texas Tech's schedule, they don't have a lot of the SEC teams, and the SEC is where you're going to find a lot of those top teams. And so probably if Texas A&M or if Texas Tech stays number one, which I don't think they will after this weekend, but I don't know if they will be able to get back up to number one now. Do you think?
Yeah, I don't think so. But I'm also looking at the schedule ahead, Jess. And it doesn't stop there, right? South Carolina is a big RPI opportunity for Nebraska. A&M,
Texas A&M,
that's a huge one,
right
there. You'll have them in the Mary Nutter, and then Oklahoma State, who's been to the Women's College World Series just as much as anybody over the last 5 to 7 years.
Yeah,
you'll have them 3 different times, all 3 in Stillwater. So you have 3 different chances at a huge RPI boost. And if you're throwing Alexis Jensen out there, or you're throwing Jordy Fromm out there, you have a good feeling with this lineup that you're going to win any game that those two start.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the challenge is that in these types of festivals, tournaments that you're playing multiple games in a day. Whereas if you're playing Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I don't know many teams that are going to be able to beat that 1-2 punch of Jordy and Jensen.
Just think of how they're going to be set up for Big Ten play.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like Friday, Saturday, Sunday, like what teams are going to be able to beat?
I would think you'd go with Jordy on Friday and then Jordy on Sunday and Alexis Jensen on Saturday. You could go with – it's interesting too, right? You don't want to burn out Jordy for the eventual run that you want to make regionals, super regionals. I think you see some of the other staffs, they're trying to limit innings early where you're not burning players out. It used to be one pitcher all the time. Let's throw them and try and get as many big wins as possible. So I'm interested, first Big Ten series, Michigan at home. Is it Alexis who's the opening night starter, and you start to use Jordy twice in a weekend as the season gets a little bit later,
I do think Jordy likes that role.
And it's her last collegiate year,
I think
right?
she likes that role of coming in, of kind of being the hitter and the playing in the field, and then coming in and closing the door.
I think they love having her as. I could see her for sure pitching 3 games in a weekend, right? As the closer role, you're pitching the final 3 innings.
Yeah,
is the ultimate remedy 2 times out of 3 games in a weekend, where Alexis Jensen gives you 3, maybe 4, and then Jordy comes in and pitches those big time innings down the stretch.
I think we've seen it, and even you mentioned it, the improvements from week 1 to week 2 for Alexis Jensen and their stat lines. We were talking about this earlier off air. 80 Ks combined between Jordy and Alexis, just 6 walks.
Yeah, you're not walking people, and that's what absolutely kills you, especially in those games against top 25 teams. And you look at where they're situated now with all the wins that we've mentioned. And Ava Kuzak, who's one of the stars of this team, just has not been getting going. It's been a frustrating start for her. So she
will get going.
It's a long season.
Yeah.
But the fact that you've put together the resume now where it's been sort of a slog and a struggle for one of your all-conference players, I think says a lot too.
Yeah. And listen, Husker fans, softball season is back, and the Huskers are hitting the field and ready to bring the heat all season long. Come experience every big swing, every strikeout, and every win at Bowlin Stadium. This is your chance to be part of the action and cheer on your Huskers as they compete in what is sure to be an unforgettable season. Grab your seats now at huskers.com/tickets, and let's pack the stands all season long. Go Big Red. And all right, we're going to take a break here on Sports Nightly. Coming up next, let's talk some Nebraska men's basketball getting back in the win column against Northwestern. I had a chance to chat with Cale Jacobsen. Keep it here on Sports Nightly.
Dear weekend, Toyota trucks are raring to go. Gearing up for fall, Tundra is all in for hauling. Campers, ATVs, Tundra's got the muscle to move it. Going off the beaten path? Tacoma says, let's do this. With handling that tackles tough trails and the backbone to take you where the pavement can't. Both trucks pack sweet tech, posh cabins, and Toyota's legendary reliability. So whether it's a fishing trip at dawn, tailgate at noon, or a remote sunset sunset, these trucks are built to make every weekend epic. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota. Let's go places.
See your Omaha Metro and Lincoln Toyota dealers, Baxter Toyota of La Vista, Baxter Toyota of Lincoln, Corwin Toyota of Bellevue, or Village Point Toyota of Omaha.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
I would have never had the chance to see my daughter become a doctor.
Because my mom wore her seatbelt that day, I get to hug her when I go home.
And then it clicked. Because I wore my seatbelt, I learned that one moment in time can change a person's life forever.
Brought to you by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
The day we were hit was the second to last day of our high school careers.
We were about to graduate as best friends together.
And then it clicked. Because we wore our seatbelt that day, we still get to experience life together.
Brought to you by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic for better health. Why chiropractic? Because it's safe, drug-free, and a cost-effective treatment option for back and joint pain. Plus, all generations can benefit from natural chiropractic care. Choose chiropractic first for pain relief or to improve your mobility, athletic performance, or overall wellness. Make chiropractic your first choice for better health, and find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraskachiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
And now, introducing the starting lineup of your Nebraska Huskers. Starring Allo Fiber. At number 1, Allo Internet. At number 2, no satellite dish required. DirecTV through Allo. And at number 3, Allo Mobile. Allo Fiber, the official internet, TV, and mobile partner of Husker Nation. Level up your game and go to allofiber.com/Husker Radio.
Husker fans, if you're looking for a fulfilling career that's financially rewarding and provides flexibility, your local insurance agency is hiring. No matter your skills or interests, there are opportunities for you in the insurance industry. Explore the many ways you can use your skills to protect your community by checking out the IIAN job board. Find your calling and be a part of an industry that makes a difference. Go to iian.org/careers today.
Dear weekend, Toyota trucks are raring to go. Gearing up for fall, Tundra is all in for hauling. Campers, ATVs, you know Tundra's got the muscle to move. Going off the beaten path? Tacoma says, let's do this. With handling that tackles tough trails and the backbone to take you where the pavement can't. Both trucks pack sweet tech, posh cabins, and Toyota's legendary reliability. So whether it's a fishing trip at dawn, tailgate at noon, or a remote sunset at, well, sunset, these trucks are built to make every weekend epic. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
See your Omaha Metro and Lincoln Toyota dealers, Baxter Toyota of La Vista, Baxter Toyota of Lincoln, Corwin Toyota of Bellevue, or Village Point Toyota of Omaha.
Woodhouse has been a trusted partner in your everyday since 1975. Shop for your next vehicle with the home team at Woodhouse and the official auto dealer of Nebraska Athletics. Welcome back to Sports Nightly with Kyle Crooks. I'm Jessica Coody, and big win on Saturday. It took a little while, but Huskers pulled away and ended up getting back in the win column against Northwestern. Almost a 20-point win.
It was, I'll tell you what, these last two first halves have not been good. I mean, that was about as ugly. That was probably even uglier than Purdue the first half. It was just, it was quiet in the building. It wasn't a whole lot to cheer about. Was out of sorts. And, you know, credit Northwestern, they have their own struggles, right? So it was sort of a slog in that first half, and then Nebraska does what they do in the second half. Kudos to Price Sanford, had one of his better games, 29 points for him, hit 6 threes. I think, you look at the minutes Cale gave him. Sam Hoiberg continues to do it. So, again, it was just one of those games that I don't know if it was the early start. It was late arriving to get to the end result, which over the last 2 second halves, you'll take that, but the first halves, boy, you can't continue to play sluggish out of the gate. Yeah, you look at the turnovers, 18 turnovers there against Northwestern and 14 against Purdue. And again, this is a team that's been a big part of the success, is they've just taken such good care of the basketball. And we heard Coach Hoiberg talking about hopefully it's not a trend here moving forward, but they just the last couple of games have not been very good at taking care of the basketball. So the fact that you are able to, pull out a win like that and to have 18 turnovers, pretty solid. But it's funny, for as good as Price was, and as, again, he is now one away from the season record, tying the season record for three-pointers made. But you could, Sam Hoiberg and Cale Jacobsen was a big part of the team being able to really extend that thing and pull away there in the second half. Yeah, those two had really good games. Sam played nearly just about every minute on the floor, played 37 minutes, was efficient. His defense, it goes without saying that his ability with his hands, how many deflections that he causes, 50-50 ball, there's not one that he's not going to dive on the floor and give 110% effort. And then Cale Jacobsen was a guy that Fred said in his postgame probably gave him the best minutes. Had a couple of really clutch threes, but he plays very under control, right? I remember when I first started watching this season and wondering, okay, what does the coaching staff maybe see in Cale from an offensive perspective? Sometimes he was just super hesitant to be a part of the offense. Not anymore. I think when his shot's open and it's there, he's going to take it, and more often than not, he's going to knock it down. But he's a really good presence on the floor, but offensively, he's continuing to become somebody who's going to help this team in the NCAA tournament.
It's funny. We have a feature that we do for Player of the Game that Cassidy, our gal that posts a lot of our social media features, and we were joking because she was picked Price Sanford early on because he was going off early, and then ended up going with Sam and was worried that Price was going to run away with it. And then the more that the second half went along, and the more Sam kept racking up the stats, and ended up with 14, 7 rebounds, 5 assists, 4 steals. And then it ended up being Sam ended up winning Player of the Game. And I just think Husker fans appreciate what he does. And even though it might not be 29 points, all those things that he does, and those little things, the deflections and getting the steals that lead to buckets that ended up extending that lead, it's a huge part of why this team is where they're at.
I think it's their momentum plays, especially when you're at home and you get that steal and runaway bucket, or you get that deflection, or you get the crowd pumped up because you're diving on a loose ball near the sideline. Those are all things that help build momentum and help build a culture. And it was even a game on Saturday where you didn't get a whole lot offensively out of Rink Mast, right? There were a lot of things that you were hoping to get on Saturday that you didn't necessarily get, but you don't want to apologize or be complacent when you win games by 19 points. You're winning conference games by 19 points. The fact that the way that you played in the first half was ugly, but this team is still good enough to play as ugly as they did in the first half and still win going away against a Northwestern team that had Michigan on the ropes for a large portion previous to coming to Lincoln. So it just says, I think, to your point about Sam, it's deeper into the culture of this team and how what kind of guys that he wants in his program.
All right, well, I had a chance to chat with Cale Jacobsen after the win. All right, here with Cale Jacobsen as the Huskers get back in the win column. How good did that one feel to get back in the win column?
Yeah, we talk about it all the time, protecting this place and winning at home. And so it was good to get back on track and hopefully get this thing rolling again towards the end of the year.
It was a grind. What allowed for you guys to start to pull away from Northwestern there in the second half?
Yeah, we have to stay together when things get tough. If we would have, splintered and done our own things, we would have been in trouble. But the maturity of our group, just to stay together through silly turnovers and silly whatever we were doing, and figure it out down the stretch to win a game.
You were a big part of it. What were you feeling that the team needed from you in that stretch to be able to pull away?
Yeah, I just want to. When you're open, you got to shoot it and make the right play all the time. We had some awesome cuts that pulled in the defense, and that left me open on the perimeter. So when the shot presents itself, you got to knock it down, and that was the mindset today.
You mentioned the turnovers, uncharacteristic again today. What's the issue there, and how can you guys correct it moving forward?
Yeah, we just got to be smarter and stronger. Those are the two things. We're getting a little careless at times, and so that's where we get in trouble. And so when we're smart and we play off 2 feet, when we make the right play, our offense looks good and it looks better. So.
What about defensively? It seemed like you guys really locked in there in the second half. How does that really allow for you guys to make things happen on the offensive end?
Yeah, they're an unbelievably talented team, and with Martinelli to be able to contain him the way that we did, it's tough, and they make things tough for you defensively, but we know our defense kind of fuels our offense, and so it was important to come out and get stops to start the second half, and then, the offense opened up a little bit down the stretch.
Sam Hoiberg, you two seem to play well off of each other. What's it like playing with him when you see him kind of make some plays and you just kind of guys go back and forth making plays on the defensive end?
Yeah, it's awesome. He saved me a couple times tonight just with coming out of nowhere and making a play. So obviously he just does everything for us. A glue guy doesn't even quite describe him just because of the amount of impact that he has. And so he's obviously grown a lot, and it's been great to just kind of see his jump. And this year he's really taken the jump. So.
What's it like hearing the crowd react? Do you notice it when you hit those back-to-back threes, just how electric this place was?
I really didn't, but that's cool. I'm sure I'll see a video or something. So this place is awesome, and we need to do a better job of bringing energy and playing better in this place and getting off to good starts. And so we're going to keep working on it.
All right, and then moving forward, another big one. They're all big, right? Yep. But at Iowa on Tuesday, how do you guys kind of move forward from this one and get better from this one and be able to go on the road again, take it on the road and get another big one on the road?
Yep, I think we just have to continue to stay together, do the things that have got us here, and play simple basketball. That's our recipe.
Great stuff. Congrats on the win.
Thanks, guys.
I know a lot will be made, and again, that was Cale Jacobsen following the win over Northwestern, and I know a lot will be made of the storyline of Price Sanford going back to Iowa. he very well could go off, but I hope they just kind of, again, take it like they've done every single other game, just one game at a time. And it's hard because the Iowa rivalry, but there could be a chance that Price goes off in this one.
Yeah, I think in the back of his mind he's thinking about it, but you think of where Nebraska basketball has been for a lot of its history and where it is now, and the number of emotional games they've played this year, considering top 10 opponents, game of the night in college basketball. It doesn't get much bigger or more emotional than that, right? So if anything, I think Price and this team as a whole is pretty well, I don't know, kind of
killed. They don't get.
It's Fred's personality.
Yeah,
right?
they don't get too hyped up on a lot of it, or you don't feel it at least.
Like even Kent's excitement and all that stuff because he's seeing things for the first time. For this team, I just think that the expectation is there, and I'm sure it's for Price. I'm going to go in, I'm going to shoot it well, I'm going to have a big game, and in the end, it's going to be a huge road win for us. If you look, we've done the whole schedule thing, right? I'm not sure what the line is, but I think previous they were not favored in this game. It's probably the only game left on their schedule. They're not going to be favored. So if you go into it, a lot of people think that Iowa could win this game, and this would be a huge resume boost for Iowa.
And this is a quad one opportunity for Nebraska.
Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm. So and Iowa's had a really good season. I think they just had a win streak snapped recently. It might have been over the weekend. I'd have to double check that. But it's a team that overall has played really good basketball heading into this game. So the way this team has been taught and conditioned with the amount of just big and games that require so much energy and maybe so much outside noise, this team's conditioned more than any to sort of just deal with any storylines that may be out there.
Absolutely. All right, got to get to a break. When we come back, wrapping up hour number 1. Keep it here on Sports Nightly.
Find a truck that's ready for any task at Woodhouse Buick GMC. Right now, you can save up to $10,000 off MSRP on the 2026 GMC Sierra 1500 Elevation Crew Cab 4x4. Visit us in-store or shop online at WoodhouseBuickGMC.com today. Woodhouse Buick GMC. We are professional grade. With approved credit, must own and trade in a 2012 or newer vehicle. $299 doc fee due at signing. Offer applies to select stock numbers. Offer expires March 31st, 2026. See dealer for details.
Life is busy. Wouldn't it be great if someone could help you manage your insurance?
Well, I do have a lot to keep on top of. Between the house, my life insurance, the car. Like you said, life is busy.
A local trusted choice independent insurance agent can help you with your research, coverage selection, pricing, and claims at no extra cost to you.
Which means I'll have more time to spend on other things.
Trusted choice independent insurance agents. We'll help do your insurance. You just do you.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
It's not a job. I don't start my day by logging in or end my shift by punching out. I don't have a corner office, but I do have a seat with a view. I get to see every sunrise and every sunset. And while I may technically be my own boss, I fully accept that I am not in charge. I'm a Nebraska corn farmer, and there's nothing else I would rather be.
Brought to you by the Nebraska Corn Board.
The Honda Accord from Woodhouse Honda is more than just a reliable sedan. It's your everyday upgrade. Lease the 2025 Honda Accord LX for $199 a month for 36 months and 10,000 miles per year. Shop in-store or online at woodhousehonda.com today. With approved credit, tax, title, license extra, security deposit waived, $3,000 down plus first payment and $299 doc fee due at signing. Stock number GH250127. Offer expires March 31st, 2026. See dealer for details.
Welcome back. Hour number 1 of Sports Nightly with Kyle Crooks. I'm Jessica Coody, and a huge shout out to David and Christopher who have been here all day. All day. It's been a busy weekend because this is the time of the year that we've got multiple sports going on the airwaves, and we had both women's basketball on at 11 a.m. and then baseball, and so they got here and we're helping out with both, and now they're here for Sports Nightly.
Incredible. Full day. Josh Hilkeman as well. Full day for him. This is the grinded out type of year for broadcasters, producers, studio hosts. You just got so much going on. It's a good time of year.
Tough one for women's hoops today. We had talked about that would be a big one for them. That's getting to kind of a stretch. They've got 3 games left. They got a West Coast swing at Oregon and Washington, and then senior day at home against Rutgers. And they're getting to the point there they're going to have to win out and win a couple in the Big Ten tournament. It's been a tough stretch for women's basketball.
Yeah, it's just sometimes they've run into a gauntlet. One, they've run into a tough part of their schedule, but I think they're now 0-for when it comes to quad one opportunities. So resume building chances, most likely if you in the Big Ten tournament is where you're going to get most of those with the rest of your schedule. Iowa was a good chance today. A great crowd, by the way. They panned out on television to see the amount of people that were there on a Monday morning. Shout out to everybody who was out there today, but still some of the same issues, getting off to just terrible starts and then having to claw back in the third quarter. It's been a pretty similar remedy every single the last handful of games where, I can remember the Ohio State game on the road where you made a furious comeback and then you fell short. Last game at Minnesota, it took a big third quarter to get back in the game, and then you fell flat in the fourth quarter. You made a little bit of a charge today in the third quarter, but wasn't nearly enough. Defensively, not nearly enough stops.
Yeah.
They shot 60% today. Rebounding, you were -8. So in some of those physical and defensive-based stats, just not playing your best.
Yeah, and you said it. I mean, they just kind of get in too big of a hole, and then they make a charge back, and it just is too big of a mountain to climb. And then, you've dropped 4 in a row, and this is a team that just got off to such a great start. And then you start thinking about, you want to be playing your best basketball right now, and when you're kind of fighting the confidence and the lack of confidence, I guess, struggles at this time of the year, it's just not ideal.
Yeah, and it was tough for Britt Prince to get going. For her, not as many shot attempts as you would think in a game like this. Finished 4 for 8. Amaya Hargrove and Eliza Maupin were in the top 3 in scoring in this game. You just really got nobody in a groove. And again, slow starts is where I'll go with this team. You were down 25-13. You were down big before people really sat down in their seats with their popcorn. And you can't fall behind against a team like Iowa. They had such a really good inside presence. They're really well coached. It's just one of those teams that's probably going to be in a Sweet 16 and an Elite 8 when it's all said and done. So you got to get off to fast starts, give the crowd a reason to get into it, and they just never really did today.
Yeah, and that's Matt Coatney, Jeff Greash were talking about in the pregame, that you've got to outscore Iowa and not just 48-45. Like, you were going to have to score with Iowa, and I thought there were some times that they got some good looks that a lot of times this team would knock down, some open threes that they just couldn't get it going today. They just couldn't get hot. Everybody going at once.
Yeah, you're not going to beat a top 15 team. Probably in Nebraska's case with, they have the edge on the inside going 4 of 19 from 3. Got to find ways to shoot it better from the outside, and that's been a part of the struggles. And you can't allow a team to come into your building and shoot 60%. You got to find a way to get more stops. That's the big problem right now with women's hoops.
So again, Amy Williams' crew will head to the West Coast this week at Oregon on Thursday. Late night tip, 8 o'clock. We'll have the pregame show right here for you on the Huskers Radio Network starting at 7:30 with Matt Coatney and Jeff Greash. So they'll maybe try to pick up a couple of wins on the West Coast there at Oregon and at Washington, and then they'll close things out with Senior Day on crazy. There's only 3 games left.
Senior Day? Are you kidding me? Already?
I felt like it was just November. We were just starting the season.
We were getting ready for a Black Friday football game against Iowa and some of those November games.
Yeah.
Basketball was just starting.
Yeah. So
crazy.
All right, well, we got a whole nother hour of Sports Nightly. Going to talk some more softball. We wanted to play back some of the highlights from the win over Texas Tech yesterday. Going to hear from Braden Frager. I had a chance to chat with him, the breakout freshman for Fred Hoiberg. So that's all coming up. Hour number 2 of Sports Nightly. Keep it here.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
I got to see my brother get married.
I would have missed my dad's birthday.
Because I wore my seatbelt, I had the privilege of being part of his special day.
I got to go home and see my family again.
Does it click yet?
Brought to you by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
I would have never had the chance to see my daughter become a doctor.
I was able to go to my brother's graduation.
I wouldn't have adopted my first pet.
And then it clicked. My seatbelt saved my life. Does it click yet?
Brought to you by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic for better health. Why chiropractic? Because it's safe, drug-free, and a cost-effective treatment option for back and joint pain. Plus, all generations can benefit from natural chiropractic care. Choose chiropractic first for pain relief or to improve your mobility, athletic performance, or overall wellness. Make chiropractic your first choice for better health and find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraskachiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
Spotting the perfect fit is kind of your thing. So when it comes to finding a used car, start your search at FordBlueAdvantage.com and find the perfect certified pre-owned vehicle at your local Ford dealer. One that comes with serious perks, like a thorough inspection, a Ford-backed warranty, even a Carfax report. Because you know what they say, the best finds are the ones that feel made for you. Ford Blue Advantage. Used car buying that's built for you. Available at participating dealers only. See your dealer for details and limitations.
Husker fans, if you're looking for a fulfilling career that's financially rewarding and provides flexibility, your local insurance agency is hiring. No matter your skills or interests, there are opportunities for you in the insurance industry. Explore the many ways you can use your skills to protect your community by checking out the IIAN job board. Find your calling and be a part of an industry that makes a difference. Go to iian.org/careers today.
Good evening, Husker Nation. I'm David Sotek reporting from our studio, and the Sports Ticker is brought to you by the experienced advisors at Stonebridge Wealth Systems. Earlier today, the Husker women's basketball team faced off against number 15 Iowa here in Lincoln. Britt Prince led the team points this morning with 13, but the Hawkeyes claimed a first quarter lead and didn't look back. Iowa went home with the W 80-67. Women's basketball plays next on Thursday, February 19th against Oregon in Eugene at 8 p.m. Coverage will be right here on the HRN. Next, Nebraska softball took the trip to Florida on Sunday to play their 10th game of the season against number 1 Texas Tech. The Red Raiders scored in the first and third innings, but the Huskers brought in 3 runs in the fourth, and that gave them the edge they needed. Nebraska took down number 1 Texas Tech 3-2. They play next on Friday, February 20th against South Carolina at noon, and coverage will once again be right here on the HRN. And finally, the Nebraska women's gymnastics team secured the win over Illinois on Sunday at the Bob Devaney Sports Center. The Huskers scored 195.75 points, clutching the victory by less than 2 points on senior night. NU will be on the road to College Park, Maryland on Friday, February 20th, to take on number 24 Maryland. The meet is set to begin at 6 p.m. The Sports Ticker was brought to you by Stonebridge Wealth Systems, navigating you to and through the retirement of your dreams. Local advisors, a disciplined process, the retirement compass. Visit StoneBridgeIWM.com. Coming up next is Hour 2 of Sports Nightly, right here on the Huskers Radio Network.
Coming to you live from Memorial Stadium, it's Sports Nightly. All the Huskers, all the time. Sports Nightly is presented to you by the NDOT Highway Safety Office, who remind you to buckle up and put the phone down.
Bounding it is Frager. Hoiberg lets it roll, picks it up as it crosses the timeline. Need a 3 right now. Hoiberg mass shoots the 3, is on the money.
Got it! Smack, smack, down the hole! Right down the avenue. It's a 2-point game. 68-66.
Deep 3 right wing Logan Nisley. You betcha! A CDA 3 for Logan. She's got 12. It is 69-63 Minnesota.
First pitch to Dylan Carey is a high drive to deep left center field. Giving it a look is the left fielder. He leaps and it is gone. Over the glove of Goretti in the left field fence, and Dylan Carey has the first home run of the season for the Cornhuskers. A towering moonshot over the left center field wall, and Nebraska jumps in front 1-0.
From to the line. Her 2-2. Terry takes over the outside corner. Cold strike 3. Down goes Terry. Down goes Tech. And the Huskers have taken down the top-ranked team in the country for the second time in 2 weeks.
Now, here are your hosts, Jessica Coody and Kyle Crooks, on the Huskers Radio Network.
Live from the Eddie C. Moore Complex in Clearwater, Florida, it's the top-ranked 11-0 Texas Tech Red Raiders against the 11th-ranked 5-4 Nebraska Cornhuskers. Another 3-2 on the way from Jensen with 2 outs and a runner at second. Here it is. Terry takes over the inside corner. Cold strike 3. Down goes Terry, and down go the Red Raiders. Terry couldn't believe it. Farrell lined to left her first time up. Pitch, Farrell swings and drives this one. Center field and deep, and it is gone! 2-run home run, Jesse Farrell, and this game is tied at 2. Farrell attacked the first pitch and hammered it off of the camera position, just to the left of straightaway center. And Nebraska has tied this game at 2. Nebraska trying to take down number 1 for the second time in 2 weeks. The pitch, and it's lined by Core through the left side for a hit. Carter around third. She's going to try and score. Holloman's throw to the plate. It's late, and the Huskers have the lead. Core over around second. They throw on her. She's back in safely. It's an RBI single to left field for Hannah Core, and Nebraska leads 3-2. From the right-hander, gets the sign. And her 3-2 pitch. Pennell swings and misses, and she's down on strikes. And Fromm comes out of the bullpen and sits down Texas Tech 1, 2, and 3. 1-2 the count. Fromm to the line. She delivers. Quiroga swings and misses. She's down on strikes. Fromm rips off the mask and yells toward the plate in celebration. Fromm has retired 6 in a row since coming out of the bullpen. Right now, Nebraska leads number 1 Texas Tech 3-2, top of the 7th. The 1-2. Spearman swings and misses on a pitch in the dirt for strike 3. 1 out in the top of the 7th. 3-2 Nebraska over Texas Tech, top of the 7th. Fromm to the line. Her 2-2. Terry takes over the outside corner. Cold strike 3. Down goes Terry. Down goes Tech. And the Huskers have taken down the top-ranked team in the country for the second time in 2 weeks.
The victory sounds of Nate Rohr as Husker softball takes down number 1 Texas Tech. Again, back-to-back weekends, knocking off the number 1 team in the country. And, hey, look, we talked to Ron Revelle going into the season, and this is a team that's got high expectations. They want to get back to Oklahoma City. They want to do not just get back to Oklahoma City and the Women's College World Series, but, potentially compete for a national title. And they want to host. They want to, and a big key to that is being able to host in the postseason. And they've got to build a resume, and that is here early on. And I think they were a little disappointed they dropped the game to Georgia, but hey, bounce back in a big way, getting the wins over UCF and knocking off Texas Tech.
You've already built a solid foundation for a resume I think the expectations are already there. This team's going to host a regional, right? And knock on wood, everyone stays healthy and good to go. I think the true expectation of this team at minimum is to host a super regional. Still very early in the season, but the collection of talent on this team, from what we've already seen in the lineup, from the 1-2 punch in the starting rotation, you have a generational player that's leading the charge that at certain times is going to will you to victory, that has played for national championships, that has been on the biggest stage. You have multiple players on this team that have played in a Women's College World Series. You brought one in out of the transfer portal in Hannah Court. So you have players that know how to win, know what it takes to get to the World Series, and know what it takes once you're there to win a championship. All things are aligning, and the way Rhonda she sat in this seat right to my right when we talked about the schedule and said, "I'm pretty crazy, aren't I?" Well, there's a little bit of math behind the craziness and how this team's going to build up their RPI heading into the Big Ten, because outside of UCLA, there's not a lot of teams in the Big Ten that scare you as much as what they've already seen.
And a little bit of tough news, though, as we move forward. We'll wait and hear officially, but we saw yesterday that the Huskers did it without starting third baseman Sammy Bland. She made a spectacular catch in the game against UCF, and then we saw Caitlin Caneda come in and start at third. Now, Caitlin Caneda had a heck of a freshman season, was starting at second base, was really good, and then just had so much talent around her. She came in and played at third, and you could just tell maybe not as comfortable at third with what your responsibilities are and when you're supposed to be where in certain situations. But I think, as they move forward, hopefully she'll get more comfortable there if they need her to continue to play in that situation. But we'll await word. But that would be a tough blow not having Sammy Bland, not only because of we've seen her really grow into her position at third, but also she's been a really good bat in the lineup for this team over the last couple of seasons, not just last year, but her freshman year as well.
You want some consistency and continuity on the infield, and that really hurts if you don't get her back anytime soon. But it's all part of a long season. Other players have to step up. So we'll see how that works out at third base. I think defensively there's been a little bit left to be desired to start this year for Nebraska. I think if Rhonda takes one negative away from what happened at Florida in these first 2 weekends, I think they want to see the defense buttoned up a little bit.
I've been asked a ton by people, when can I see the Huskers playing at home? This is kind of what this team does to start because of the weather, but also because, and really it's every softball team, right, to start the season. That's what we were talking about. And ESPN said it, on average, 3 of the teams that played in this tournament over the weekend are in Oklahoma City. The kind of the best of the best, the who's who of college softball hit the road here the first 2 or 3 weekends of the season. But March 5th against South Dakota State will be a doubleheader, and then Saturday, March 7th and Saturday, March 8th. That's a home opening weekend for Husker softball, and Huskers.com/tickets. Those will go fast. So if you want to be inside Bowlin Stadium, you better get on that so you can watch this team play in person, because they are going to do some special things this season.
Yeah, I'm excited to get out there and watch them. Hopefully the way things have gone, I've been told, because it's been so warm in February, everybody told me this was the scariest month out of the year. I walk outside, it's going to be 70-something tomorrow, it's 60-something today. It's going to get a little bit colder, but my fear is, and I hope this isn't the case, that March might be a little bitter and a little cold and a little snowy. We haven't had a whole lot of snow either, so hopefully the weather stays good. I'm excited to get out there and not just watch baseball, but also watch softball this spring.
All right, couple texts to get to. Mark on the text said, going back to women's basketball, Amy needs to recruit some big girls inside. They're kind of short-handed, too. This looks like a WNIT year, but you never know. Thanks, Mark. And then also had a couple people asking, can they still make the NCAA tournament? They got some work to do. But look, anything's possible, and that's why you have the conference tournament as well.
Well, you had Natalie Potts on this roster, right?
Right.
And she never played.
Mm-hmm.
She got injured and redshirted this year. That's a forward, a 6'2" body that would be a legitimate presence on the inside and would be a factor offensively and defensively. And I think that is somebody that there's a hunger that to get a player like that on this year's team. Unfortunately, you have what you have, and you just need to continue to build. I think defensively, there's things that you could, whether you have the size of a Natalie Potts or not, that you have to improve upon. And offensively, shots haven't fallen as well. And as teams lock in on Britt Prince, you need others to step up in that regard too.
We've seen this team do some special things in the Big Ten tournament, and they have the capability to shoot it well. And so if they can get hot and get it rolling, you never know. There's still opportunities, certainly, for this team to get it rolling and do some special things here late in the season. Brian in Bellevue said it always snows during state basketball tournaments in Lincoln, Kyle.
Well, I'm telling you, I was talking to somebody today that said just look out. Recalling a story of when it was like 65 degrees one day and the next day it was a blizzard. So I have a feeling March is going to be a little bit wacky around here. I hope I'm wrong.
Also want to note, look, this program has not, mailed it in on this season, but they've got a spectacular trio coming in.
That's what's
next
exciting.
year. They've got some incredible talent that will be joining this program. And then, look, they'll always, hit the transfer portal, but they've got some really, really exciting high school seniors now, but incoming freshmen that will be joining this program that will make an immediate impact.
I remember how much we hyped that up at the time when those players signed and how bright the future is. Amy's she's a heck of a coach. This is just one of those seasons where it just hasn't seemed to get on the right track here in the month of February, whatever the reason may be. She's infinitely more qualified to answer that than I am. But to see where the trajectory of this program is headed and the recruiting trail, the talent that you're continuing to bring in, the future is incredibly bright for Husker women's hoops.
Listen, Ashlyn Copal is the one that's coming in. I hope I'm saying that right. But she is, it seems like every other week, she's getting some kind of national award. She's an All-American. She's the State Player of the Year, South Dakota. I mean, it is every other week she has achieved some kind of really big feat that is some of the best in high school basketball.
You need to remind me, too, tomorrow, I was just looking at my calendar, tomorrow's Juliana Seabay's birthday.
Oh, you better say happy birthday.
So I have to make sure to text them and give them a shout-out on the air.
All right, one more. Art in Los Angeles said, hi, Jessica and Kyle. Sam should get Player of the Year, not just Player of the Game. We were talking about the fan vote for Player of the Game.
Sam Hoiberg, Player of the Year?
Sam should get Player of the Year. He is scrappy, all heart, and very talented.
He could be Art in Los Angeles Player of the Year, although I thought I was the Player of the Year in Art's
You're
world.
the Broadcaster of the Year.
Broadcaster of the Year? Okay, I'll take that. Who knows? Maybe we can get all defensive team.
Football Broadcaster of the Year.
Okay, I'm very specific.
Football play-by-play Broadcaster of the Year.
Football play-by-play Broadcaster for Nebraska of the Year.
There you go.
Very specific.
All right, good stuff. We're going to go ahead and get to a break. Coming up next, I had a chance recently to sit down with Braden Frager and kind of dive into his freshman season and also going back to revisit his redshirt year, what he learned, what he took away, how much he grew, and all of that. So really fascinating conversation. We're going to play you a little bit of that coming up next here on Sports Nightly. Woodhouse has been a trusted partner in your everyday since 1975. Shop for your next vehicle with the home team at Woodhouse and the official auto dealer of Nebraska Athletics.
work is dirty and sometimes dangerous. It's the kind that can break your body, and if you let it, your spirit. But while there may be better ways to make a living, you won't convince me there's a better way to live. I'm a Nebraska corn farmer, and there's nothing else I would rather be.
Brought to you by the Nebraska Corn Board.
Life is busy. Wouldn't it be great if someone could help you manage your insurance?
Well, I do have a lot to keep on top of. Between the house, my life insurance, the car. Like you said, life is busy.
A local trusted choice independent insurance agent can help you with your research, coverage selection, pricing, and claims at no extra cost to you.
Which means I'll have more time to spend on other things.
Trusted choice independent insurance agents. We'll help do your insurance. You just do you.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Spotting the perfect fit is kind of your thing. So when it comes to finding a used car, start your search at FordBlueAdvantage.com and find the perfect certified pre-owned vehicle at your local Ford dealer. One that comes with serious perks, like a thorough inspection, a Ford-backed warranty, even a Carfax report. Because you know what they say, the best finds are the ones that feel made for you. Ford Blue Advantage. Used car buying that's built for you. Available at participating dealers only. See your dealer for details and limitations.
Husker fans, if you're looking for a fulfilling career that's financially rewarding and provides flexibility, your local insurance agency is hiring. No matter your skills or interests, there are opportunities for you in the insurance industry. Explore the many ways you can use your skills to protect your community by checking out the IIAN job board. Find your calling and be a part of an industry that makes a difference. Go to iian.org/careers today.
There is no place like Nebraska, and there's no peace of mind like knowing you have a dedicated team of technology experts working for your business around the clock. Hey Lincoln, I'm Ed Knott, president of tech company Applied Connective. It's a privilege to serve our great state for nearly 2 decades now with managed IT, cybersecurity, phone systems, physical security, and audio-video solutions. Our team understands the importance of fitting you with the right technologies to help your business perform at its peak potential all day, every day. Discover more at appliedconnective.com and go Big Red.
It's not a job. I don't start my day by logging in or end my shift by punching out. I don't have a corner office, but I do have a seat with a view. I get to see every sunrise and every sunset. And while I may technically be my own boss, I fully accept that I am not in charge. I'm a Nebraska corn farmer, and there's nothing else I would rather be.
Brought to you by the Nebraska Corn Board.
Dear weekend, Toyota trucks are raring to go. Gearing up for fall, Tundra is all in for hauling. Campers, ATVs, you know Tundra's got the muscle to move it. Going off the beaten path? Tacoma says, let's do this. With handling that tackles tough trails and the backbone to take you where the pavement can't. Both trucks pack sweet tech, posh cabins, and Toyota's legendary reliability. So whether it's a fishing trip at dawn, tailgate at noon, or a remote sunset at, well, sunset, these trucks are built to make every weekend epic. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
See your Omaha Metro and Lincoln Toyota dealers, Baxter Toyota of La Vista, Baxter Toyota of Lincoln, Corwin Toyota of Bellevue, or Village Point Toyota of Omaha.
The Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center is sponsored by Akrs, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Akrs, solutions for every field. There's been lots of fun storylines this year for this Nebraska men's basketball team. Certainly one of the fun ones has been Braden Frager, the hometown kid that has been electric off the bench and has provided some really, really big minutes and has been so fun to watch. So had a chance to chat with him recently to dive into his breakout season, what's gone into it, and even revisiting the redshirt year and how much he was able to grow kind of sitting back and being on the scout team. So all of that and more. Here is my conversation with Braden Frager. Well, how's it going? How has this year been for you?
I mean, it's we came out. I mean, I think
we knew we could be here. I know a lot of people didn't really expect us to be at where we are today, but I think everybody within the group knew how far we'd make and how much progress we'd make.
How about for you? What did you feel like going into this season?
I just feel confident with the off season. I know Coach Hoiberg, he really trusted me coming in the off season. I feel like I just went out there and performed to my best ability.
Okay, so let's go back to the beginning, obviously, and get to know your story a little bit. Homegrown Husker. What do you remember about Nebraska basketball growing up?
I just know that they've never won a tournament game, so that was kind of a goal, always coming here and being on this team. That's been a main goal of mine.
Were you a Nebraska fan growing up?
I was, yep.
Yeah? Of Nebraska basketball, Nebraska football?
Yeah, football, basketball, everything. I was at a lot of the games.
Who were your favorite Huskers growing up?
I like Ty Webster, Glenn Watson, Siobhan Shields. Those are probably my top three watching it growing up.
Football players?
I like Kenny Bell.
Yeah.
And
I think that feels like par for the course.
Yeah.
Like Kenny Bell and you are kind of, I feel like, a little similar.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I just liked him growing up. Who was the other guy? He was I think he was a receiver.
Mm-hmm.
Well, do you remember his?
I wasn't here during that time.
I forgot his name, but Westerkamp.
Okay.
Yeah.
There you go. Okay, so when did you kind of realize that college basketball could be something that you could do?
I don't think it was till my the sophomore headed into my junior year, kind of when I was getting recruited. I barely played varsity as a freshman. Sophomore, I finally started, but I didn't have any coaches, colleges, anything like that at all. But then there was that summer headed into my junior year, I kind of was getting recruited a little bit, and that's when I kind of realized that, I think I want to take this because I think I'm talented enough to go play at the Division I level.
What switched then for you? If you weren't getting recruited and then all of a sudden you were, why was it the late bloomer effect for you?
Well, I think it was really just the first tournament we had. I think it was up in Iowa. I had two really good games. I think that caught the notice of a lot of colleges.
Did you grow late?
You said what?
Did you grow late?
Oh, no. I've always been taller. It was just, I just kind of developed an outside shot. I was always kind of just a bigger guy because I was always taller than everybody, so I feel like I was playing more of the post and everything, but I kind of just developing that outside game kind of helped a lot.
What went into that, developing that? When did you realize that needed to be something that you needed to add to your game?
Kind of when I realized that 6'6", 6'7", that's tall, but not for college, and just kind of realizing if I want to get as far as I can, I kind of got to work my way down instead of being a 4'5", working my way down to a 4'3",
Okay, so then you start getting recruited. At what point did Nebraska come in the picture and you realize that's where I want to play?
They were the first ones to reach out. It was them in Creighton, and Nebraska offered me it was early in the afternoon, and Creighton offered me that night. So I think Nebraska was just the first team to offer me.
What was that like, being that you grew up a Husker fan, getting that offer?
I was excited. I was with my dad, and it just didn't seem real. It kind of just felt like one of those moments that just didn't seem real. It was just everything I've always dreamed of, especially that first offer being a Power 5 offer, especially coming from my hometown, Nebraska.
Did you know right away that was it? Or did you think that, let me explore some things? Did you know Nebraska was going to be it for you?
No, cause it was kind of early, and especially since my junior year, I didn't know I was going to even skip my senior year. Mm-hmm. So, I was kind of just waiting, seeing things through, and then it just came down to a couple of options, and then talking with Nebraska, talking with the coaches, it just ultimately came to the decision to reclassify and come here early.
So why then ultimately, besides just being your dream, why did you feel like this was going to be the fit for you?
I just really like the coaches. I really like Coach Nate. I think our relationship has grown so much, and I just felt like we clicked from day one when I met with him, and then even Coach Hoiberg. I just love playing for him and just loved watching his offense. Okay,
so then take us through the decision then to reclassify and come early and skip your senior year of high school.
Yeah, I was kind of in a situation where it was like I wanted to do what's best for me, and we were on a Zoom meeting with my family, and they just said they gave it as an option, so I sat on it for a while, and then we came to that decision that I wanted to do that.
Why?
I just wanted to get here early. I mean, I didn't hurt anything just because I know I could develop here. I would have all these amazing facilities to help me get to where I want it to be.
Did you think ever I'm going to miss out on my senior year of high school?
I did think about that a little bit. I mean, I definitely do miss it. It's something that I do miss. I wish I kind of could have just left all my friends early and everything, but ultimately it was a business decision. I knew it's best for my future.
It's got to help, though, that you're here, that it's your hometown, right?
Mm-hmm. No, I mean, it helped a lot. Especially with my family being close, being a 17-year-old, coming to college wasn't easy, but just my parents being 15, 20 minutes away kind of helped a lot.
Okay, so you get here. What was that first time stepping out on the court, going from high school to college, being a 17-year-old kid playing college basketball here at Nebraska?
Well, for me, it was kind of hard because I was coming off a wrist surgery, so I was already a couple weeks behind, and kind of just getting out there, it was kind of just – it was a lot at once, just being the younger guy coming off an injury, haven't played in a while. So it was definitely a lot. I didn't really expect it, but I mean, I feel like I got pretty used to it pretty quickly. Just being around the guys. I mean, even last year, the team was just amazing. All the guys, they were all supportive and they were all there for each other. So it definitely helped out a lot.
What did you realize there in the early goings that you needed to work on in your game to be able to come in and make an impact?
I think just my everyday consistent effort. That was probably the biggest thing, and obviously developing my shot because I know Coach Hoiberg likes his shooters. So just developing my shot and just that everyday grind, just being able to be willing to come out every day and put that work in.
So then you have the hard conversation to redshirt. I know as a competitor, not easy. And Coach Hoiberg has talked about there were times that it was challenging that they wanted to pull your redshirt. What was that conversation like, and was that a hard conversation for you to hear at the time?
I mean, it was a little hard when they first came in, just said that I wasn't in the rotation, and it was kind of just up in there at that moment. Like, it wasn't really official, but then as the season went on, I kind of, like, started realizing that, like, it's just kind of getting to that point. I mean, it was hard because we were winning games, so it's like they're not going to ruin that. But then by the time that they wanted to, it was too late. So I just felt like I just had my mind set on next year, preparing my mind, preparing my body for the next season.
So then what did you learn? What were your big takeaways from that redshirt season that we're seeing pay off here in your first season playing college basketball?
I think just kind of seeing everything. I mean, I got to travel. I got to experience everything firsthand. So just seeing everything we did right last year, seeing everything we did wrong, and what we can change and do better for the next year. Just being around. I mean, it's you can see it on TV, but it's a whole different level when you're there every day in practice and the games and in the huddles and the locker room and all that.
How about defensively? Because I imagine you're on the scout team, right? And so when you're having to guard against the starters, did that push you defensively?
I mean, yeah. I mean, it helped guarding Bryce and Juwan, bigger, older, talented guys. It definitely helped, and it also just kind of helped my confidence because I was able to go out there and just play freely. There wasn't a whole lot on my shoulders. I could really just do whatever out there, and while obviously trying to follow the scout, but I think just the confidence helped a lot, and being guarded and guarding those guys.
We always hear about the adjustment period that it is for young basketball players going from high school to college on the defensive side of things, and you've talked about Nate Linzer. How big of an adjustment is that, especially with the Nebraska, what you guys do defensively? How big of an adjustment is it, what they expect for you defensively?
I mean, Coach Nate, he expects a lot. I mean, it's a lot easier to cruise in high school and get away with things because I'm bigger, faster, athletic than guys. But now it's a whole different level where it's like everybody's big, fast, athletic. Everybody was their best player at their high school. So it's just kind of that consistent every day, every rep. Nope, you can't take any plays off.
How about offensively? How has your game grown working with Coach Hoiberg?
I just feel like he's trusted me a lot more as the season has gone on. And I feel like I put myself in that situation to where he can trust me. And that's just the biggest thing is having a coach that can believe in you. And when he believes in you, it's just a lot easier to believe in yourself. So
then, I have found too, because you're a scorer, right? You've always been a scorer. But with this team, you guys are so quick to find the hot hand, no matter who it is, whether it's you, it's Price, Sam, whoever it is. How has that been, being a part of that? And has that evolved for you, or has it just been a part of the culture with this team and this program?
I mean, I just think it makes a lot easier when everybody likes each other. Everybody wants everybody to do good, and especially since we got a deep rotation of guys everybody can have their night, everybody can go out there, score 20. So it kind of takes a little off everybody else's shoulder when one or two guys don't have it going, but then these guys have it going. So it just makes things a lot easier.
Again, that was Braden Frager, and we've obviously talked a lot about him and his season this year as a freshman and the role that he's played coming off the bench, the energy and spark that he's played. But told you that we talked about this last week, but when this feature ran on the TV show, Coach Hoiberg said he's got the highest ceiling of anybody on this team, that he just is not even close to reaching his full potential, which is also really exciting.
Yeah, he's had a really good year, and with the whole ankle situation and him having to go through that, and his ability to fight through that and be an instant impact when he came back after missing that Michigan game. You just look at what he's done this year and some of these big wins in Big Ten play. Defensively, you know what you get from him on the floor. I think offensively, over the last 3 or so, it's been kind of a struggle for him since he had 20 against Illinois. But I would expect Braden's one of those guys in an emotional game against Iowa that he's probably due for a big game offensively.
I was thinking that too, just with the rivalry part of it, and being that he is a hometown Husker, it probably will be a little bit more for him. But he can just, if he's hot and he's feeling it, he can fill it up in a hurry. And I think that's what is great. You talked about Rink earlier, and it wasn't a big game for him, but that is what has been this team's DNA from the start of the season. It's been somebody different almost every night, and it can be Price going for 30, and Rink might not have double figures, but they can still find a way to win a game. Or then the next day it could be Rink, and maybe Price doesn't score as much. They've got a different weapons that can go off on any night, and they're okay with that. They just are an unselfish group, and that's what's made this team special this year, and fun to cover and be a part of this journey, because they really do not care. Whoever needs to score to win that game, that's what's most important.
Yeah, and Braden has a really well-rounded game. I think his shot over the last 3 has been hit or miss, but we've seen some really good three-point shooting efforts from him in Big Ten play. And then, like I said, what he does on the defensive end, he's just one of those guys that fits into what Fred wants to do, guys that know their role, that are high energy, that do their role at a really high level. So Braden's huge, and for him to come and have that redshirt year too, I think was massive for him. Was really young when he came here on campus, and you think he's still really young in all of this.
Yeah,
right?
That's what you tend to forget, is that he reclassified, so that when he was going through redshirting last year, he should have been a senior in high school. So this should actually technically be his true freshman season.
Yeah.
So
yeah, and you're seeing how much of an impact he has already. And you see when he continues to develop in this system throughout the years, I mean, he's on pace clearly to be an all Big Ten player.
All right, going to go ahead and get to a break. More Sports Nightly coming up right after this.
I would have never had the chance to see my daughter become a doctor.
Because my mom wore her seatbelt that day, I get to hug her when I go home.
And then it clicked. Because I wore my seatbelt, I learned that one moment in time can change a person's life forever.
Brought to you by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
The day we were hit was the second to last day of our high school careers.
We were about to graduate as best friends together.
And then it clicked. Because we wore our seatbelt that day, we still get to experience life together.
Brought to you by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts. From the chant of Husker Power to Allo Fiber powering your home and Husker Nation, Allo is the teammate you can trust. Whether you're streaming at home with Allo Internet, watching on the go with DirecTV through Allo, or checking stats and scores on Allo Mobile, Allo keeps you in the game. With Allo plus DirecTV plus Allo Mobile, you get the ultimate teamwork. Internet you can count on, TV you can stream anytime, anywhere, and nationwide coverage you can depend on. Bench the other guys and team up with the official Internet, TV, and mobile partner of the Huskers.
Dear weekend, Toyota trucks are raring to go. Gearing up for fall, Tundra is all in for hauling. Campers, ATVs, you know Tundra's got the muscle to move it. Going off the beaten path? Tacoma says, let's do this. With handling that tackles tough trails and the backbone to take you where the pavement can't. Both trucks pack sweet tech, posh cabins, and Toyota's legendary reliability. So whether it's a fishing trip at dawn, tailgate at noon, or a remote sunset at, well, sunset. These trucks are built to make every weekend epic. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
See your Omaha Metro and Lincoln Toyota dealers, Baxter Toyota of La Vista, Baxter Toyota of Lincoln, Corwin Toyota of Bellevue, or Village Point Toyota of Omaha.
The work is dirty and sometimes dangerous. It's the kind that can break your body, and if you let it, your spirit. But while there may be better ways to make a living, you won't convince me there's a better way to live. I'm a Nebraska corn farmer, and there's nothing else I would rather be.
Brought to you by the Nebraska Corn Board.
Think a bunch of IT gurus would have anything in common with a dominant college volleyball team? Hey Lincoln, I'm Ed Knott, president of Applied Connective, serving Nebraska businesses for nearly 20 years. We're proud to have a few things in common with our beloved Huskers, namely that we're also a group of hardworking and highly skilled individuals that make up one dynamic team. From our IT and cybersecurity all-stars to our phone, physical security, infrastructure, and audio-video pros, we're one team that can expertly manage all your technologies. Discover why it's a game changer to partner with us at AppliedConnective.com. And as always, go Big Red.
Lease the 2025 Cadillac Lyriq Luxury 3 for $699 a month for 24 months and 10,000 miles per year. Or receive up to $8,000 in savings on the 2025 Cadillac XT5 Luxury. Shop Woodhouse Cadillac today. With approved credit, tax title license extra. First payment $299 doc fee due at signing. Subject to current rebates and inventory. Stock number KK250401 is courtesy transportation vehicle with 2,649 miles. Stock number KK250527 is courtesy transportation vehicle with 1,323 miles. Offer expires March 31st, 2026. See dealer for details.
The Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center is sponsored by Akrs, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Akrs, solutions for every field. Welcome back to Sports Nightly. We've got some new signage. Is that what you were pointing at?
That was. Look behind. Look over my shoulder. Akrs
right
Broadcast Center. How about that?
That's
that
new.
happened today.
Oh, nice.
I walked in. Josh said it was about 30 minutes before I walked in that they had put that on the frosted glass. Of course, we have the Greg Sharp audio waves from the Hail Mary in 2013. That's been pretty public, but now we have the Akrs Broadcast Center. That was on the old studio too, like the signage when you walk in.
Yeah, not that exactly, but
no,
yes.
No. I don't think they didn't peel the other one off.
No, they didn't. And the podcast studio is coming along. It should be done hopefully soon as well.
Let me ask you this, because I have not been watching. Has anything been good come out of the Olympics here?
Yeah, so the oldest American woman ever won the bobsled or the monopod today.
How old are we talking?
41.
I thought you were going to say like 75.
I forgot her name. Elena. She finished third at the last Olympics. It was on my social today. I've watched a lot of the Olympics.
You watch it on your phone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Even when you're not near a TV, you're that kind of Olympic watcher.
Yeah.
I haven't watched a second of it, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
So that's why I wanted to be up to date.
I watched curling. I've watched some hockey today. The women are dominating. The USA women hockey are dominating. They've been fun to watch.
When are the Olympics done?
I actually don't know. I think at the end of this week, maybe. But
yeah, we're pretty close to it. Closing ceremonies, are we not?
Yeah. I mean, it's what, 14 days, isn't it?
I guess. So, you would know.
I just watch until they're over, I guess.
Yeah, you're all in. You really are.
I like the Olympics. I really do. And it's good timing with when things are live. I usually keep the main feed, whatever's the main events on, and just watch that. So they do a good job. I also, like you talked about it, Mike Tirico, he does a great job anchoring the coverage. But so did want to go back to men's basketball because, again, the rankings came out today. Huskers fall to number 9. But then also, that bracketology thing, it is updated every single day. But there's a lot of basketball to be played. I know that I've been asked a lot about where they're going to go and where they could be and what kind of seed they could be. There's still a lot of work that the Huskers can do, but I think after the loss to Purdue, they've most of the places I'm seeing them a 3-4 seed right now, but they can move up for sure. And a lot of the teams that are ahead of them have some tougher schedules. So if they lose and Huskers keep winning, they could certainly keep moving up.
Yeah, I think I saw today that Joe Lenardi in his latest had Nebraska down to a 4.
That was on the 13th.
Okay, so that was an older one because I'm looking at an updated one from This one says that they're a 3 seed in his. I mean, they're pretty. I saw one where they're still the last 2 seed. I still see ones where they're a 2 seed, but they're fewer and far between now. I think the vast majority of the prognosticators have Nebraska currently at a 3. And I think what's good is we've seen some of the other teams around Nebraska that are trying to fight for those spots lose a little bit.
Yeah.
So like tonight, Iowa State's playing Houston. I think you probably root for Houston because I think Houston's probably a lock to be a 1 seed. I think you root for them to beat Iowa State. More losses for Iowa State helps Nebraska's cause to move up. So if you're sort of doing the watching of other games, there's a lot of games that are on tonight and tomorrow that you could watch in some other conferences where you certainly have a rooting interest.
Yeah, and Kansas also is another team that's right there, maybe jockeying with Nebraska and could potentially, when you talk about a team that, if they're ahead of Nebraska, take that home or the location, the regional advantage in Oklahoma City. And they still have Houston, and they go to Arizona still. So Purdue still has a couple of tough ones left. You talked about it. Houston has Iowa State. They're Arizona and at Kansas. So there's still a lot of basketball left to be played that the Huskers could move up in the seedings.
You know, it's interesting. A lot of teams that are on that 2 seed line are teams that are in your league, like Purdue and Illinois, and they have tougher schedules remaining. I think Nebraska, of that core, like top 4 in the conference, Nebraska probably has the easiest schedule left. And you look at some of these other teams like Michigan, Purdue. I think Michigan will be a 1 seed, but Purdue and Illinois specifically, they have harder. Michigan State, they have harder schedules down the stretch than Nebraska does.
UConn, by the way, plays Creighton on Wednesday.
Yeah, they won here in Omaha not too long ago. They lost, was it last week on the road at St. John's? That was another one that I was watching with rooted interest because, hey, St. John's pulls this off. It helps Nebraska's case. Watching some teams in the SEC too. My old employer, I think, is making a run to be a 2 or a 3 seed. They're red hot right now. First in the SEC in the Florida Gators. I think they're playing some of their best basketball. They just beat Kentucky, scored 92. I think that's a team that could probably steal a 2 seed from you. Like it's crazy the way that they've kind of kicked it into gear here down the stretch. Of course, they're the defending national champions. So we talk about getting the benefit of the doubt where Nebraska doesn't. Teams like that probably will.
It also makes things fun too because now you're watching all these other games with the rooted interest.
Yeah, it's hard. There's a lot going on when you watch these games, but it's cool because that's a feeling around here you haven't had, right?
Yeah.
Where you can have hey, this is us trying to fight for a 2 or a 3 seed. In the end, it all matters. A lot of that talk gets squashed if you lose to Iowa tomorrow. Got to take care of business tomorrow.
And again, that's Iowa as of today is 27 in the net ranking, so that would be a big.
They've lost 2 straights. I went back and looked at it. They lost to Maryland. They got blown out by Purdue at home. I was watching that game on, I think it was Saturday. So they won 6 straight. They've lost their last 2, though. So they've hit, and Maryland is not good. They lost to Maryland, I think, on the road by 7. Maryland's one of the worst teams in the league.
Penn State also is not good in the net rankings, but those 2 California schools would be quad 1 wins as well.
Yeah, on the road, UCLA, USC. That's a road trip that's tricky, right? Because it's fairly new to the conference, having to make that trip. I could see Nebraska splitting that one, but the expectation is that you can go in and you have to probably win both of those games.
It's exciting.
Let's do it.
Big one tomorrow. Again, we've got a pregame show at 7 o'clock, so we will only have an hour.
We'll be here for an hour, though.
Leading into the pregame show with Kent and Jeff, and hopefully Kent's got his voice back.
Yeah, I've been there before.
Tea.
I remember I think it was 2018. My voice was completely gone. I was on track to call 3 or 4 games in the Atlantis for men's basketball, and I called a full game with no voice for the women on Sunday. So I went to a clinic, and I said, can you just inject me in my vocal cords with whatever you got? Eventually, my voice got back, but I was terrified that I had lost my voice for those men's basketball games. I know what it feels like. It's like you're drowning on the air. It's such a helpless feeling doing play-by-play because you don't know where your voice can go. octave-wise, and if you go too high, your voice, I've had my voice crack on men's basketball games, and it's the most embarrassing feeling of your life.
I couldn't imagine because it was bad enough you came down to me at Penn State and I didn't have anything.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember going down to you and then having a report, and then slowly your voice was just slowly going away because the mucus just took over the longer the report was.
Oh, all right. Let's go ahead and get to a break. Hey, we've got to chat with David on the other side of this. It's a special day for him, so keep it here on Sports Nightly.
Life is busy. Wouldn't it be great if someone could help you manage your insurance?
Well, I do have a lot to keep on top of. Between the house, my life insurance, the car. Like you said, life is busy.
A local trusted choice independent insurance agent can help you with your research, coverage selection, pricing, and claims at no extra cost to you.
Which means I'll have more time to spend on other things.
Trusted choice independent insurance agents. We'll help do your insurance. You just do you.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Dear weekend, Toyota trucks are raring to go. Gearing up for fall, Tundra is all in for hauling. Campers, ATVs, you know Tundra's got the muscle to move it. Going off the beaten path? Tacoma says, let's do this. With handling that tackles tough trails and the backbone to take you where the pavement can't. Both trucks pack sweet tech, posh cabins, and Toyota's legendary reliability. So whether it's a fishing trip at dawn, tailgate at noon, or a remote sunset at, well, sunset, these trucks are built to make every weekend epic. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
See your Omaha Metro and Lincoln Toyota dealers, Baxter Toyota of La Vista, Baxter Toyota of Lincoln, Corwin Toyota of Bellevue, or Village Point Toyota of Omaha.
Welcome back. Final segment here of Sports Nightly on this Monday evening with Kyle Crooks. I'm Jessica Coody, and again, a huge shout out to Christopher and David, our interns who've kept us on the air literally all day, from women's basketball to baseball, Sports Nightly, and a little bittersweet because it is David's last day with us. And David, you started back in 2023, right? I remember your interview well.
Yes.
You were in the middle of, you were on the speech team. You
Sure
were
was.
a national champion on the speech team.
Correct, yes.
And then you've continued to work with us. You graduated, but you're going to pursue a law degree, correct?
Yeah, I'm definitely going to go, I'm thinking the legal route. Henry kind of, convinced me, and I loved it all of that ways. But yeah, I've loved radio ever since day one. When I was little, my mom would always listen to the radio on like the worst staticky radio you could ever dream of. And it drove me nuts when I was little, but coming to college, I just fell in love with it, and I've still do, and I will try to be involved with radio as much as I can.
Okay, what have you liked the most about working for the Huskers radio network?
Specifically, Jess.
Yes. I mean, it's just cool to say that I've been a part of Husker Athletics for 3 years, especially on the radio side. I love radio, and I've loved Husker Athletics ever since day one living in Lincoln. If you don't love UNL, that's a sin. That's unforgivable. So, no, it's just cool to say that I've loved listening to all these broadcasts when I was little and growing up, and now helping make sure that they're on air for 3 years. It's been a dream come true.
Do you have a favorite game that you've worked?
Yeah, I would definitely say the volleyball day in Nebraska in Memorial. That was so cool because, of course, we were working the boards and everything. We made sure everything was working, but there was, a slot of time where we could go outside and just experience it for a couple minutes, and it was just the most surreal feeling ever.
Yeah, because that was back when we had the
imagine.
studio where we could sneak down.
That's
to
a
the
quick
field.
walk to look through
Well,
the
and there's
tunnel.
a secret passageway that you can go down to the field.
Nobody else knows about it, just us.
Yeah.
So.
That's interesting. So you want to be a lawyer?
I just think somewhere in the legal field would be really, really interesting. Okay. In undergrad, we had a mass media law class. So talking about all that stuff was really, really cool. And I actually sat in on a law class. It was a torts one specifically. And we talked about all these cases involving people slipping on grapes and bananas. And it was just really, really interesting. So, yeah.
Wow. So I had another question for you, but I forgot.
Could we keep an attorney on file here for the Husker Radio Network just in case?
Yeah.
I might need an attorney.
Well, him and Henry both.
I say the intern to lawyer pipeline is it's starting at least. So
Really?
Henry and I, so it's a good one. attorneys at law.
And then you also did this speech while you were here too. You did both.
Oh yeah, my favorite thing in the world, speech show. Yeah, loved all of it, and I guarantee that was part of the reason in the back of my brain why I like to do it, because it was really cool to travel across the country and just advocate for what I think was important. And law is something that's that's what it's kind of rooted in. So love to do that.
Who was your favorite play-by-play that you worked with?
Ooh,
you don't have to say Kyle because
I'm not. I wasn't here long enough.
Yeah, that's fair. I just think it has to be Greg Sharp. Like he was, just iconic from day one. Every single call he did was insane. I remember watching the Northwestern call, like everything like that. It's still my mom's favorite call to this day.
So then when you got to work with him as an intern, I'm sure it was pretty special.
Seeing him for the first time, I'm like, I'm meeting a hero.
Was
crazy.
he in your interview, right?
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
So that was really, really cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, thank you so much. We appreciate all your work. You've been here a lot, especially since you graduated. You've put in a lot of hours. We appreciate you so much. I know a lot of it goes unseen. I remember what I was going to ask you. Joke? You have a joke? You did joke of the week.
I know. I haven't done joke of the week in a while.
That's because she banished the segment to never come back.
No fun here on the HRN. Yeah. No. All I know is just got to keep the B jokes rolling. That's all I got to say.
Well, thank you so much for literally everything. We appreciate you. You've done such a great job, and best of luck to you in the future.
Thank you.
And you'll hopefully be around. We'll see
absolutely. Yes.
So, awesome. Thank you, David.
Thank you, David.
All right, Kyle. So coming up this week, we've got tomorrow, just an hour, but we've got a special guest. Tell us about it.
I'm off the top of my head. I don't know what you're talking about.
Bowling.
Oh, yes. I didn't know when we were airing the interview. So you threw a lot of things at me earlier in the day. Yes, so we are talking Nebraska bowling. They have a big event coming up 20th through the 22nd. Paul Klempa, who is the head coach of Husker bowling, gotten off to a really solid start to the year. I found out some things about him that I'm a Yankees fan. Let's just say that he is a fan of a team that I do not like. So we went back and forth.
You guys are just talking ball.
He's a New York native. Yeah, even when the mics went off, we were just talking ball. But he's got a good squad, probably one of the best bowlers in Husker history, and Jillian Martin. We'll talk a lot about her and her journey here. He's fired up. Doesn't think like they've been close to hitting their potential.
That's good.
But they got a lot of time to go. Their first year in the Conference USA, too. So they have conferences coming up, and then NCAA's coming up as well.
So we've got that tomorrow. Also, we're going to talk some Husker football because it's crazy. Spring practice starts
Jess,
this week.
I was looking through. I'm like, I got to start reading up on this stuff again because I've had so many sports crammed in my head, and you've lived this life for a long time where it's like I'm trying to keep baseball straight, softball straight, men's and women's basketball straight, that you forget about, football starts on Saturday.
Well, and it starts earlier.
Yeah, we have a game
it's
in
not
a little more
started
than
in
a
February
month.
since I've been here.
So we got who's enrolling early, who are the freshmen that are practicing in the spring, the transfers, keeping everything straight because we're getting set to talk about this. We'll have media availability coming up, I think, on Thursday of this week with Rule and a few others to get you set for practice on Saturday. A lot coming up with football, so buckle in.
Not sure what rock Crypto's been living under, but yes, Kyle is going to call baseball this year. He's actually going to be on the call coming up this weekend. So
excited about it.
Be down there in Arlington.
3 games in Globe Life in Arlington, home of the Texas Rangers, and then 3 games at Auburn with Ben. So I'll be working with Nick this weekend and then Ben the following weekend, and I'll do about 20 or so games this year for baseball on the Husker Radio Network. Those guys had a great start in 4 games. Baseball, a lot to like. 3-1 start. Bats really got going. A lot of pop, slug. Young arms look good, so it's certainly a good start even with the loss today.
Look at that, in about 60 seconds, you talk bowling, you talk football, you talk baseball.
I'm telling you have me talking track and field, bowling. Like I'm telling you, I'm losing it. So I got to keep it together for football here.
All right, so just an hour for us leading into pregame for a big win for Nebraska men's basketball. 8 o'clock tip at Iowa. 7 o'clock pregame show with Kim Pavelka and Jeff Smith. Again, our Sports Nightly for Kyle and me. Thanks to David. He's the best. Have a great night, Husker Nation.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Now's the time to save on trucks at Woodhouse Chevy. Lease the 2026 Chevy Silverado 1500 Custom Crew Cab 4x4 for $399 a month. Or save up to $10,000 off MSRP on retired courtesy 2026 Chevy Silverado 1500s when financed through dealer. Woodhouse Chevy. Together, let's drive. With approved credit, tax title license extra, $299 doc fee, due at signing. Retired courtesy loaners, qualifying trade-in of 2011 or newer vehicle. Lease for 39 months, 10,000 miles plus first payment. Finance based on manufacturer rebates. Expires March 31st, 2026. See dealer for details.
There is no place like Nebraska, and there's no peace of mind like knowing you have a dedicated team of technology experts working for your business around the clock. Hey Lincoln, I'm Ed Knott, president of tech company Applied Connective. It's a privilege to serve our great state for nearly 2 decades now with managed IT, cybersecurity, phone systems, physical security, and audio-video solutions. Our team understands the importance of fitting you with the right technologies to help your business perform at its peak potential all day, every day. Discover more at appliedconnective.com and go Big Red.
Husker fans, if you're looking for a fulfilling career that's financially rewarding and provides flexibility, your local insurance agency is hiring. No matter your skills or interests, there are opportunities for you in the insurance industry. Explore the many ways you can use your skills to protect your community by checking out the IIAN job board. Find your calling and be a part of an industry that makes a difference. Go to iian.org/careers today.
I got to see my brother get married.
I would have missed my dad's birthday.
Because I wore my seatbelt, I had the privilege of being part of his special day.
I got to go home and see my family again.
Does it click yet?
Brought to you by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
I would have never had the chance to see my daughter become a doctor.
I was able to go to my brother's graduation.
I wouldn't have adopted my first pet.
And then it clicked. My seatbelt saved my life. Does it click yet?
Brought to you by